Michelle Obama recently talked about the racism she's endured and all her hardships as a black woman in the White House, but it was Melania Trump who just got a slap in the face as the First Lady. You'd think the feminists and liberals would call it out, even if the victim is Melania, but you'd be wrong. You'll be shocked by how our First Lady was treated like crap, as it's left up to the Donald Trump supporters to call out the bad guys. Canada holds the Invictus Games, which is sort of like our Special Olympics. It's attended by heads of state, and this year, Melania Trump was to be our emissary. But before we go on, there is one thing about the First Lady everyone should know. She is known to frequent hospitals wherever she goes, many times without the press. She is especially drawn to the children's wards. However, Canadian Liberals want nothing to do with her coming to their Invictus Games. In fact, one Liberal writer named Brad Fraser devoted a whole Torontoist column to the ordeal, writing, "Melania, like Ivanka, Donald Jr., and the rest of the privileged and sinister clan have made it clear that they see themselves as little more than extensions of their narcissistic, wealth-inheriting, never accomplished anything on his own husband and father, in attitude and public stance." Fraser continued, "They've all proven to be little more than whimpering sycophants before a patriarch who has proven to be, at best, a rather stupid, manipulative madman with no impulse control." He also claimed that Michelle Obama endured all kinds of ridicule by conservatives, so he decided to keep his comments clean, rising above those on the right. But, here's my favorite line by this buffoon: "Who can forget the heartbreaking images of people in wheelchairs, supported by walkers, without vision, being arrested and roughly dragged away for protesting Trump's draconian proposed changes to health care?" He fails to mention he's referring to a staged protest, where the disabled persons seen in a video weren't disabled at all but were blocking someone allegedly having a cardiac issue from receiving emergency care. Sadly, as uninformed as he is, Fraser still got support from the snowflake crowd up in Canada, and they have started a campaign on Twitter. Maybe these snowflakes are just mad that their prime minister is pretty girly, another Barack Obama, while we have a real leader who is fighting for our middle class. It's odd that the hate for Trump from these Canadians is so palpable when most of what they base it on are lies fed to them by the liberal media. Michelle Obama was also out crying again about her hard life, knowing that after 8 years of working really hard for this country, there are still people who won't see me for what I am because of my skin color, she whined to a crowd in Denver on July 26. So, what does Melania complain about? Nothing at all. She knows that she has a privileged life, even though she has been a target ever since Trump announced he was running for president. That's the difference between the liberal snowflake crowd and those of us who call ourselves conservatives. We don't whine about our lives even when they suck. There's no doubt that Melania had no political ambitions but supported her husband's choice, and she's trying to be a good first lady, knowing she was not elected to a political office. Fraser went on to advise our First Lady to bow out gracefully because they don't want her there. It's laughable really, an ignorant Canadian not understanding we are the United States of America, and they need us, we don't need them at all. Bashing our First Lady is not such a smart move, and it's not something many Americans will forget anytime soon. Please share the story and tell us what you think by clicking one of the buttons below. We want to hear your voice.